Hello and welcome to Night Clerk Radio. This is episode 113, new music for September 2024, as we are examining the breadth and depths of haunted music throughout I'd say the internet's fairly haunted, wouldn't you say, at this point, Burke?
Yeah, I think it's literally dead.
Oh no, AI has killed everything?
That's what they're claiming.
Oh man.
That's what they say. So if that's true and I'm still using it, that's a ghost.
Oh no.
And that's haunted. That's a spooky haunted ghost.
Oh man, it's like we're in the Overlook Hotel. We don't even realize it.
Yeah, that's a good reference, Ross.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I work really hard on them. So,
just going to see yourself appear. Well, you are in it. Damn it.
Yeah.
I was trying to do like the end of The Shining where he sees himself in the photo. Spoilers for the 50-fucking-year-old movie, The Shining. Which is not really even spoilers. I mean, it is, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
To the rest of the movie. But I was trying to think of like that tub portrait you had commissioned from Patsy for movie night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like appearing in that. Like the date changes.
Oh, no.
We were always watching movies on Discord while COVID was happening. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. You're invited. We're getting off to a great start. So, yeah, we have two great albums for us to review this episode. And there's quite a bit of variety between them.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything else to say other than I'm really eager to get started on this because we have Signalwave and we have vaporwave jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's lovely combination.
I agree. I was thinking this episode after doing all the like summer music feels like a back on my bullshit type episode.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
All the lip service to future funk and whatnot. And then like, here's a 90-minute Signalwave compilation. Here's a Mallsoft jazz self-help corporate wave.
Yeah.
Concept album. Have fun.
Yeah.
Back to the real music.
Back to the real music. Well, it's starting to get cooler, so that means summer is over. Labor Day has come and gone, which is a real holiday in the
Future
U.S.
Funk after Labor Day.
Yeah.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like wearing white after Labor Day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it.
Stopping at point C. Sit go. Right where you want us. Sit go. Right where you want us. It really makes me mad when I do dumb things. When I put anything simple wrong to it, turns out to be anything but quick and easy.
And that was a bit from State of Limbo by Channel 71 off our first album, the Signalwave Gas Station Mega Compilation, or the Signalwave Community Mega Compilation, Gas Station Times, however you want to treat it. So that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a huge, huge, huge compilation of Signalwave tracks that came out of really like learning to kind of laugh at a glitch. So the way this whole thing started is that during SignalCon this year, the day 3 video was so packed and so big, basically, that like YouTube was having trouble with the premiere, is my understanding. Mm-hmm. And so it froze and it just stuck on the still of the image that is the album cover, which was during Channel 71's set, which is why I chose the Channel 71 track as the intro sample, because it's what kicked this whole thing off. So instead of like moping and being like, oh, it's glitched, oh, it's not working, whatever, everybody basically had to move over to like the Discord, the Signalwave Discord voice chat to finish it just as a screen share there. Mm-hmm. And then basically everybody thought it was so funny and such like a historical moment. Yeah, that community has like a really, really good sense of humor. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, let's just do a compilation around this frozen image, pretty much. And then people contributed tracks. I don't know what ratio are like original tracks to tracks they'd already prepared for SignalCon versus tracks from other projects that were in progress. It doesn't really matter where they came from. One is that they threw this whole big compilation together, and Hitachi Home Video did a limited run 2 CD edition of it because it's 90 minutes. And yeah, it just became like a huge hit in the Signalwave community. And you know me, I love these curated compilations. I love them for both talking about them in this context and also for just sharing them with people, because this one stood out as one of the most varied of these Signalwave compilations we've talked about.
Yes, for sure.
To me, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't really think of when I think of Signalwave. It obviously all works. It's all under this like vaporwave haunted music banner. It doesn't really matter. This is not like a purity argument, but I thought it was like really cool. First of all, it's got a lot of the regular Signalwave trappings you'd expect. There are ad samples, there's static, lo-fi muffled sounds coming from another room. There's a lot of field recordings, like cars passing by, you're at a gas station, you're on the highway, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But then it has some other interesting things, like almost right away, I think it's track 2, Florida Rains, Chrysler LeBaron, starts off with, sounds like Darth Vader himself reading some Chrysler ad copy. But then it goes into like an almost echo jamsy part where it just repeats the chorus of New Edition, just a late 80s, early 90s R&B group. It's really like in that echo jam style. Like the voices aren't even that distorted comparatively. It's not that like super deep vaporwave voices, but it is just kind of this chorus on loop, which I don't really think of having like that prominent a pop sample as being terribly common.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just sort of brain dumping everything that occurred to me during this album.
Yeah, no, I mean, first off, it's good to know that the Signalwave community is very like low key and open and does not take itself too seriously, because I know a lot of like artistic communities can get very insular and like, taking your art too seriously can be very negatively impact your art and also like really hurt, more people coming into it. And also, a lot of musical communities get very cliquish and very, you don't like to see it, but like hearing that they're just friendly and open and having fun with it is good to hear. So I thought this was a really good sampler of Signalwave. Like, this is like, if you want to have a very good, it's a survey of like different styles of Signalwave and like artists. So like, if you're a big fan, but you don't want to like hunt through to find a bunch of different albums, like this is a great album to just like, put on. But if you want to explore the genre, if this is something you've been curious about, this is a good starting place. I think we have like infinity frequency style drones and loops and like, the echo jams kind of style approach. And occasionally every once in a while there's an extremely loud sample to like snap you back, because it's very easy for this kind of music to sort of slip into the subconscious, into the background, and you don't even know you have it on. And again, it's 31 tracks. It's over 90 minutes. It's a lot.
It's amazing. So I'm going to focus on one interesting other sample source I really liked, and then I'll talk about some of the other tracks. So just to be clear, I don't think I'm going to play any other samples because there's so many artists and so many tracks and such variety that I don't want to like play favorites by picking and choosing certain samples. I think you should just go check it out, see what you like, treat it like you said, like a survey course. And if you don't like a track, it's unfortunate. Just skip it, because some stuff does get kind of glitchy and noisy at times. But, I suggest everyone check it out. But one track that I thought was pretty funny from a sample standpoint, just because it's, again, a genre I haven't really heard used as a sample base very often, but track 14, That Ship Has Already Sailed, which has like this quote of like, I don't know, my dignity. Oh, that ship's already sailed. And I was like, is that like from BoJack Horseman or something? And it's not. It's actually from like a 2022 animated film called The Bad Guys, which I don't remember at all. But then the sample base though is like Midwest emo, screamo, metalcore-ish. I don't know exactly what the sample is, so I don't want to be too specific about genres because it's a sensitive topic, genres in that area. But it just becomes like this, combined with the like, sort of out of context, but slightly sad movie quote into this type of music is so perfect, because that's kind of like a joke about that's how those intros are, like the Midwest emo intro meme where you play it over, I don't know, my favorite's Report of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
That version where guys playing like guitar over Report of the Week, talking about the passage of time and everything is very funny.
Yeah. I think for a lot of listeners, the most famous version of that meme is like an actual video of some teenage kid on his little scooter
Oh, yes.
ranting
yes.
to a girl about how no one will love him, and he'll just go to that other guy, and then he just takes off in his little moped or whatever. And that teenage heart wrenching angst that it really captures that, especially with the music over it. So
and I just thought that was cool as like a sample for in Signalwave, because you don't really get it as often.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And again, it's a sample that's not really like messed with that much. But then there's stuff that's like super noisy and glitchy, kind of the other end of the spectrum.
Oh, sure.
So I'll shout very close by, track 13, KJ Volume, XI Mobile 99. It's come up before in other compilations. KJ always does really great glitch and noise.
Yeah, that one was
Really
particularly intense. Like,
Yeah, it's a real dedication to intense noise. Like, I'm going to damage my hardware.
don't damage your hardware.
I think he already has. But then there's other things. Yeah, there's, like I said, there's ad copy. There's like motivational samples. I think of like self-help samples. There's a lot of funk samples too into there. God, what could I pick? God, there's so many tracks.
I mean, like, there's some variation too. Like, track 26 is almost like, we just talked about Future Funk. It's like the Signalwave version of Future Funk. It's very like smooth beach, like kind of music. It's got a nice beat. It's got a good opening sample. So yeah, like this is what I'm talking about with like variety. Like there's a lot of breadth and depth in terms of technique used here. So
yeah. So that's the Analog Plus untitled track that you're referencing.
Yeah.
Is track 26. Just so people, if they're looking for it.
Yeah.
No. Like there's a lot of cool ambient. It's not really ambient, but I really like Long Trip by Juge. Cool person, but Long Trip is fun because it's got like this almost like jazz drum comp and then all this instrumentation and sampling going on over it. Like that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
That is a good example.
I think one of the things I like about Signalwave is their archaeology. Like the fact that they're digging through all these, like, everything is getting put on the internet, including thousands and thousands of hours of old commercials on YouTube and archive.org and other sources. And watching a 40-year-old commercial for a product that was discontinued after a year and the company no longer exists or was bought out by another company, and seeing like this engineered little video to try and sell you something to a person that existed 40 years ago. But to your mind now, it's so alien, it's so different. It doesn't, the concerns and the frustrations and the aspirations are no longer applicable. So it's, watching something alien and it's weird and it has an entirely different context, very death of the author, and the great Signalwave artists dig up these things and they sound so weird and dreamlike, devoid of this context, especially now because they're always saved at like low resolution, a transfer of a battered VHS tape to a low resolution thing and upload and then, brutalized by the YouTube encoding process.
Yep.
And, this transformation is magical, in a way, because it's like, it's commercial. It was evil. It was just pure unadulterated capitalism. But now through time and neglect, there's a bit of, Ozymandias and you can project whatever you want onto it now because its war is over, its battle is done. You're just looking at the wreckage of the old battles of capitalism. You could just gaze upon it safely now. But and like all this time and effort went into it, millions of dollars, very skilled people at the height of their career, like all those car commercials with the zooming around these phantom valleys and deserts. And and the Signalwave artists are just bringing it back and making it into the weird phantom production. I love it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why having the sheer variety across this whole compilation is so cool, just because it does force you to listen to other stuff, because a lot of it is like just very good. I don't know, like classics in the way it feels wrong, but like just like here's a really weird obscure ad sample, like you were saying, it's been beat up and abused by time. And then on top of it, people who do this all the time, because there's a lot of names I know. There's also a lot of names I don't know, and I want to go check them out. But there's people like Kenmore Classic and Cinematic Sequences and Crispy Doodles and all these names I know. There's a lot more than that. That's just kind of three off the top of my head. Sort of what's in front of me, quite frankly. But that signal chain is so dialed in that it just really has its own style. It really takes on its own life. It's that little extra, that's that extra bit of craft that turns it from just like, well, I'm just playing you back a degraded ad commercial into like, I'm making like this vaporwave Signalwave project. God, I just love hearing all the different ways people do that.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't just nostalgia either, because these are commercials that are like from different countries or different times, and like, but you can kind of hear the cadence in it, or from before. A lot of the Signalwave artists are pretty young. Like, this is stuff that was made before they were born, that they're turning into really weird haunted music. So yeah, good job.
Also, just picking more recent stuff. Like I said, that Departing sample in that track 14 was from like 2022. So just really digging into all of our cultural detritus.
We haven't mentioned that a lot of these also, it sounds like they have like field recording samples in them too, like cars passing in the night, or like I think track 28, it sounds like it was recorded in a cafeteria or a food court or something.
Well, it makes sense. It's called Quick Stop to View the Convenience Store.
Yeah. So maybe a convenience store, something like that.
You gotta grab some nachos and a hot dog. Hit up the Come and Go.
Exactly. Well, it won't be Come and Go for long.
I know, they're cowards.
They really are. I can't believe they're changing it to Maverick with a misspelled. It's so stupid. Let us come and go. It's a chain of convenience stores in my region that are getting a name change for our listeners who are not from the Midwest. And it's spelled KUM for.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, it's very normal. Don't worry about it. So this is a great example of what Signalwave can be. And if you like Signalwave, or if you're curious about it, this is definitely an album to listen to. So unless you hate Signalwave, then you should listen to it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. Definitely support it. My only regret is not picking up a CD.
The source is quite simple. Guilt, anger, insecurity, helplessness, pain. Regardless of your problem, it started somewhere in the past. If you are not as happy as you desire to be, there's a memory that needs to be changed. If you're not as successful as you desire to be, there's a memory that needs to be changed, and on and on and on.
And that is a sample from track 3, The Source, from the album Solutions by Windstar Solutions, which is a jazz duo with a lot of help on different tracks. We found the perfect union of vaporwave and jazz in the form of a concept album of a corporate self-help tape that is here to guide you to being more productive and being a better person. And this is I don't remember how I found this album, but I'm so glad I did, because it's as far as I can tell, all original composition. I don't think they used Plunderphonics on this, and there's a lot of people listed on the liner notes for this. And this is really jazzy, very lush music that's like mall soft nostalgia for memories you haven't had. Like this is I think they made up the tape and everything, but like they were making it sound like Plunderphonics, but it's all original. It's a good jam. They even have a website for it, windstarsolutions.com, with like that's set up to look like a Mac from like the 1980s. So they did a lot of work on this. This is like a Brooklyn duo of jazz artists, and I think lush is the biggest word I come with this album, because they have such a layered sound that's so warm and inviting, that picks up and slows down rather organically. What do you think, Bert?
I loved it. So to your lush comment, or a few comments. First of all, to your lush, I think we're getting to that thing where, because I agree, but also it's like if you listen to 90 minutes of Signalwave and then anything, it's going to sound amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very lavishly produced. I also want to shout out, before I get into the music, one of the coolest physical releases. I don't know if you looked into they sell it with a brochure. So it caught my eye because the physical, which I thought was just the cassette, was $50 on Bandcamp. And I was like, what the dang? It's actually like a brochure. So it comes with the cassette. It comes with a Solutions branded MP3 player. So it looks like a little cheap stick MP3 player.
Yeah.
That has the album loaded on it. And then the brochure, I guess, I don't know what it plays, but it has a 7-inch LCD screen in the little fold out.
Oh my
that just
God.
says, in the pictures, it just says Windstar or Enterprises.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's like some little preloaded video or like
I did not look at it that. Oh my God. This is.
Yeah.
Wow. This is up there with the wax cylinder.
I know. I was like, oh, I kind of want it. Because, yeah, musically, this album is awesome. Like you said, it's a lot of jazz original composition, but doing that while making fun of one of my favorite things, which is self-help, self-improvement stuff of these like extremely generic, like focus your breath and become the true you were always meant to be. And like, is there some magical you inside of you that's different from you that's just waiting to come out?
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, an anime where the hero's getting beaten up and then the villain is vastly more powerful, but suddenly the hero decides he just wants to win more and he just somehow finds inner power to defeat the villain because he just believes in himself more. This is like the real life. This is like, you can do that in real life if you just listen to this tape. You know, you can find that inner power and just suddenly be a better person. A lot of people want to buy into that. But yeah, like those kind of self-help tapes have this very structured, like soft new age music and like very reassuring person just telling them what they want to hear. And, you know, everything's positive.
But it's funny because then it'll break that vibe with like, oh, here's just some huge jazz horns.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like slow moments too. It'll like have this crescendo of just really great, you know, horn sections and then just like calm down to almost nothing and then build back up again. And there's a lot of like different techniques too. Like I said, there's like track 4 has like field recordings of like a beach and like seagulls. There's like some pitch shifting, like a lot of vocals on this too. Like a lot of singing. Yeah, it's very good singing. It's very fun. But it's almost like a synth pop in some places. Like it very gets, I don't know.
Yeah, like track 8 is very more synth poppy. Like if you heard it divorced from the context of the rest of the album, it would kind of catch you off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
The vocal performances, like you said, are really interesting. I'm pretty sure they are, same as you, original written because there's so many people who have vocal credits in the liner notes for the album.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure that's where that comes from. I think the thing that drives me crazy about these albums in a good way is I have to confront the fact that a lot of this like new age meditation music, divorced from kind of the supposed metaphysics of it, I love. Yeah. Like track 9 has this business lecture going on, but under it are like jazz drums. There's like ambient, there's field recordings of birds and like, damn.
Yeah.
Like sonically, I love like all of that. Like all there's like bird, nature wave type field recordings.
Oh, sure.
All that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's just so funny this is in a joke context, but there's of course serious versions of this. But yeah, just sonically, that's so appealing to me.
Oh, yeah. Let's be faced. A lot of our favorite ambient musicians and composers, like, you know, when they need to get rent money, they're like, hey. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of them who subsidize their art by making music for new age and meditation, you know, or massage therapy and like all these other style, you know, spa music, you know.
I always call it aquarium music is like my other term. It sounds like some of the stuff that plays.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Aquarium, if you're ever in the area, has dope ambient. At least they used to like 15 years ago, the last time I went. Before you go in, they have like these tubes that like fish are swimming through because there's all this like transport throughout the whole aquarium. But in that area, they play like really, really good.
Interesting.
New age meditation.
See, I need to go to there's an aquarium here in town that I haven't been to, the Wonders of Wildlife Museum at the Bass Pro. So I don't know if the Bass Pro would be too into putting ambient music on, even in an aquarium. I'll have to check that out at some point. But yeah, there's a huge variety, like not a huge, but there's a decent variety. Like there's even like the last track kind of goes into a little bit of prog rock. There's a lot of like mall soft type music, like track 2 is almost like an 80s shopping mall commercial, Oakwood. But of course, one of my favorite styles of music is high speed business music. We got to get that productivity like up. So like, let's listen to track 7, Guided Viewing.
This happy scene originally contained
and that is frenetic. I love it.
Yeah.
It's extremely good shit. It's a real interesting thing that they're kind of hitting all these high marks of like self-help and mallsoft and business music and like just going into synth pop and then like kind of lounge jazz. I suspect that they had a lot of fun making this album.
It has to be. It has to be a fun album to make.
Yeah.
Because you do get to just do all this cool jazz stuff, but then I assume if you're doing this, you're making fun of it, and it's always fun to get together with friends and make fun of something together. As mean and bully-like as that sounds.
Yeah, but like again, this is like stuff from the past, stuff that like it was ephemeral and meant to be forgotten.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. And it's an artistic, it's a common across medium artistic outlet to just make fun of stuff. I mean, how many tabletop games have we done that just rip on something?
Oh yeah, no, it's a mainstay for sure. Because I mean, you make fun of it because there's a part of you that loves it. Like you just cannot get enough of it, So it's making fun of it, but with love, maybe not love, but appreciation.
Yeah.
So this also like, I mean, it's vaporwave, but also with again with all the singing, with all the vocals, it makes it a rarity. And so like this is a real interesting album to check out, and I'm definitely following them. So I hope that they can produce more. I really hope they make more music because I think it's really fun and interesting. But I'm very curious about this video brochure.
I know. It's so tempting.
Maybe I'll tell my family this is what I want for Christmas. Yeah.
See what Leland thinks. Be like, I need some self-help. Don't tell him it's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. This
is like, Mom, we're going to listen to this together. It's going to help you out so much at work.
Yeah. Because like they have this little, if they have a video on there, but like they don't have an embedded music video on their Bandcamp page, which you can do. I've seen, before. So yeah, I don't know. Very curious. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We had a lot of fun listening to this music and, of course, putting this together. Exploring new music has been very rewarding, just getting to see, digging up examples of all kinds of subgenres we haven't normally gone into, or just seeing the newest sort of styles and productions that are techniques that are being showcased. So it's been very rewarding, very fun. Next episode, we're going to be looking at some more electronic ambient music. So, but what type? From who? From when? Well, you have to stay tuned. And
where's?
Yeah. Of course, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/nightclerkradio, where we have a ton of bonus episodes. We recently looked at a documentary about Negativland, the pioneering plunderphonics group, and we are going to also be looking at more synth pioneers in the near future. So if you want to look back to our foundations, the history of electronica, you can check it out. And also we have a great community on our Discord, and we are on Twitter. We are on Blue Sky. We have a Facebook page, and we're out here on the internet somewhere. So, and please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcasting app you use. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies, tell your business associates. The Night Clerk Radio is the real podcast for people who want business efficiency in terms of music. I don't know how that works.
Quickest path. It's the quickest path to unlocking the true you.
Exactly. Yeah. And you need the right soundtrack for that. And we can help you pick that soundtrack. There we go. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.